Happy Monday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined every now and then by Shawn DePaz.
Yeah,
Shawn coming straight over from PHNX Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
right here to his original home where he was drafted at PHNX Sun Devils. So, Glenn in the chat, when is this show starting? 2 p.m. Pacific or 2 p.m. Big 12 time? Look, man.
It's always Big 12 time over here now.
You were doing negotiations, seeing if we were going to add Cal, Stanford, Oregon State.
No, that's the ACC.
ACC, the AAC also was interested in sniping those two schools as well.
That makes more sense.
My gosh, it is a mess. Conference realignment is what it is.
Everyone's favorite football game, Syracuse University versus the Cal Golden Bears.
Clint has changed his profile photo.
Isn't just an empty stadium?
No, it's just an empty stadium. Poor Clint. Look, you're always going to have a home here, man. You're always going to have a home.
Yeah, just put a Sparky in that logo. You know what the vibes are.
They'll be perfect. Look, we got a lot to get into today. We're going to talk Arizona State fall camp. Practice number 7 concluded this morning, and it was one of the most intense ones thus far. Also, Elijhah Badger. He has been added to the Biletnikoff Award preseason watch list. Got that. There was a player kicked off the team, so we'll get into that at a certain point. But
hell yeah,
we're going to do some Big 12 stuff because it's never too soon to do a Big 12 tier list. So we've got football. We're going to do basketball as well. Ian928 says, why does ASU, do you hate the Big 12? I don't think he hates the Big 12. I just think he hates Iowa State or West Virginia.
That statement was very much taken out of context.
Yeah, it was. It absolutely was.
I'm not trying to go to fucking West Virginia either.
Have you ever been to West Virginia?
No, and I've driven through it.
It's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. But you never know.
For some people.
Wanigan, Big 12 is about to get a rude awakening when they have to get used to our time zone. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, oh my gosh, Tornadoes is back. I can't even get through Wanigan's. Oh my goodness. And Shane's not even here yet. Breaking news from Tornadoes from Jason Shear. There is, in fact, a video of ASU's President Crow and Shane playing Marco Polo at a community pool. Also note, Shane wears a t-shirt while swimming. Tornadoes, I need you back here. Like I said last week, I need you back here.
Is that a Clones fan?
Every single day at 2 p.m. Arizona time. I need you here.
That's an Iowa State fan? That's funny.
You should have seen what they were doing to Shane on Friday's show. It was constant.
I should tell. I grew up a Texas fan, so I've always been a Big 12 guy, and I hate y'all. I hate y'all. I hate all y'all.
Gosh.
I hate all y'all.
Joe, was Shane dismissed from the team? No, Shane is on vacation, but Shane is like never consistently on this show anymore. So, we're looking to add schools. We're looking to add schools at this point. So just let us know. But let's go ahead and get into the Big 12 tier list. And this is obviously when the entirety of the 16 teams would be playing in this conference. So do you want to start football or do you want to start basketball, Shawn? Because this is gonna, first off, this is gonna be posted separately on YouTube. Okay. And it's gonna get comments about where we put some
let's start with football because football's coming up first.
Okay, let's start with football then. And this is another. I mean, how we approach this here is going to be interesting because we could start with some of the new schools. We could start with Well, why don't we start with an easy one? TCU. I think TCU is the only team in the Big 12 that belongs in the S tier, coming off a national championship runner-up. Like, I feel like they have to be.
I mean, does the Big 12 have any S tier schools?
I mean, okay, that's fair.
Do they have any S tier schools?
This is S tier as it is for the Big 12. If this was S tier for all of college, all of the NCAA, then I don't think there is a Big 12 team in the S tier because they're not Alabama, they're not Georgia. I know they were just there, but they're not Georgia. So it's up to you. Do you want to put them in S or do you want to put them in A?
Yeah, we can put TCU in the S tier. I mean, they're defending national champion runner-ups.
Okay, TCU then goes there. No Max Duggan this year.
No.
Los Angeles Charger quarterback Max Duggan. Okay, where do you want to go next? Because this is gonna get sticky. I feel like What do you think, Jacob? Because I feel like
you should go by team at the bottom. So like ASU, U of A.
Okay, what
I can do is actually let's shift U of A and ASU to the end.
Okay.
And Utah. Let's go. I'm just going to organize this just a little bit.
Okay, you do that.
Okay. So that way we start with the current existing Big 12 teams, and then we see where ASU, U of A, and Utah and Colorado slot in.
Okay. I mean, I'm absolutely down with that.
All right.
So we'll go Baylor now. Baylor's tough because this is a program that used to be so good, but I feel like they haven't been nearly as good as they have been in the past. Let us know in the chat too what you guys think. But Baylor's obviously not S tier. I kind of want to put it in B tier. Is that fair? Is that fair to say it's in the B tier?
I think so. I think that's fair. Baylor is not really.
They were shit last year.
Yeah, they
were 4-5 in the Big 12, but historically as a program,
fallen off. Yeah.
You know what?
I'm fine with A or B tier. I can live with either of those, to be quite honest. If there was like an A.5 tier.
Really, I was thinking B or C.
Okay, let's go B then.
Because they were shit last year.
Yeah, but it's just that. I mean, they also have like RG3 not too long ago. Like they've got some cred.
Okay, let's put them in B then. We'll put them in the B tier.
Okay,
BYU. BYU is interesting because BYU is not as bad as people think it is.
I think it's an A tier, to be quite honest. Like,
why do you say that?
I mean, BYU's been like decent at football recently.
Yeah, no, they absolutely have.
And I feel like Utah is an interesting like recruiting kind of hotspot. I don't know. I think Baylor or I think BYU right now, and I think good football program. Like I don't know. If you told me BYU won the Big 12, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So Baylor was as high as 12 last year in the AP top 25. So I will go ahead. I'll put Baylor in the A tier. Or not Baylor, put BYU in the A tier. Which is 10, 15 years ago. I don't think we would have said something like that. Yeah. Glenn, BYU is B, almost A. Jet, is this current or all time? KSU is reigning Big 12 champ from Ian. Look, this is tough because I feel like you can go a bunch of different routes here. And again, this is from an Arizona State perspective.
Yeah.
I think right now where we have it is like, it's not historically, but I think it's the trajectory of these programs and also current.
Yeah.
I don't think Baylor is as bad as their record is from last season. So I think they can definitely improve. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's another really interesting one. This is a team that was in the college football playoff not too long ago.
Now they got a new head coach. Now Emory Jones is their starting quarterback.
Yeah, we know a little something about Emory Jones, don't we?
Yeah.
What'd you think of Emory Jones? Because we may have some people from Cincinnati that are Cincinnati fans that come across this, and we got the luxury of getting to watch Emory Jones.
It's tough because I would be really interested to see what he would have looked like with a competent coaching staff.
Yeah.
I don't think he was ever really given a chance to succeed. You put weapons around him. He's a dynamic player. I think he can definitely like win you football games if put in a position to succeed. So I think Cincinnati could I think he could be good at Cincinnati.
And they're without Luke Fickell now too.
Yeah,
new head coach.
Cincinnati's tough. I'm kind of inclined to put them B tier.
That's where I
feel like
just
I mean they've been in the college football playoff recently, but yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and put Cincinnati in the B tier then, because I feel like that's probably where they would belong as of right now.
Tough logo to see.
Tough,
yeah,
tough.
Very
that's
tough.
That's
they
tough.
are.
Right
They are in
the B tier though.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
why did TCU get the white background but not Cincinnati?
Beats
you're
me,
asking the wrong people.
Yeah, you're definitely asking the wrong people here. Okay, what about
Houston's another tough one. Houston's produced some pretty good players recently. They've been.
What was their record last year?
It was good, wasn't it?
I don't know. I know they're good at basketball
because they kind of run the American. I don't know.
This is tough, man. This is tough because some of these teams, as a team that was formerly in the Pac-12, don't watch a lot of these games. Let's see. Houston last year, so they only lost 4 games last year. They lost to Tulsa. They lost to SMU. Wow, they gave up 77.
Yikes.
That is crazy. They got 77 points to SMU.
They played what it looks like 2.
They lost to Tulane and they lost to Texas Tech and Kansas.
They lost to 2 teams in this. Two teams in this conference that they played. They lost to.
Yeah, and they don't have any marquee wins.
Yeah,
I'm inclined to say that they're C tier because I don't think they're Cincinnati.
But I think they might be Baylor right now.
You think? So, okay, let's do this then. Would it be more fair
to put Baylor C?
To put Baylor in C and then Houston in C?
I think so.
Okay, let's do that then. Let's move Baylor down to C tier and put Houston there. And Cincinnati is B tier. The logo is just so mid right there. Oh, man, that's tragic.
Oh, wait, you can change the background color.
Can you?
It looks like under where it says save and download is a button there that says change background color.
Oh, yeah, you can. But I don't know how that's going to affect everything else.
Oh, well, I mean, everything else is on it. There we go.
Beautiful. Look at that. Look at us go. Wow, look at you.
Hey,
Number one in innovation, baby.
Yeah. Hey.
Right there. All right. The Iowa State Cyclones.
That feels C tier too.
Does?
Maybe D tier.
They had, what's his name? They had Brock Purdy for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, they were pretty good.
When they had Brock Purdy.
Yeah, they were like 9-3.
But again, they don't have Brock Purdy.
No, they don't.
Who's their quarterback?
What were they
now?
last year?
Iowa State was awful last year. They were 4-8. They had the worst Big 12 record. They were 1-8 in conference play. Finished on a 3-game losing streak, and they got the shit kicked out of them pretty regularly, it looks like. So I'm inclined to say they're D tier.
Yeah, I could live with that.
Oh, man. Poor Iowa State. Brock Purdy, man. Who knew he was just going to be an Arizona legend and then tear it up in Iowa? Like, what? Okay, now we've got Kansas. Was it Kansas or Kansas State that had a crazy start to the season last year?
Kansas, I think.
Oh, yeah, because Kansas State won. Kansas State finished 10-4 in the Big 12. Kansas is not good.
Weird, man.
They finished 6-7 last year, 3-6 record. Oof. Oh, man, I didn't know Tornadoes was coming at you in the chat now. Says Jacob looks like he plays chess alone in the park.
I didn't even know.
Dude, Tornadoes, do you
I got called a White House intern on Friday.
I'm going to subscribe to Tornadoes YouTube, honestly. That's awesome. Glenn, Kansas got hot. Yeah, but they were so bad. They were so bad.
Who'd they have as their head coach that was out there doing some fuck shit recently? He was the LSU head coach. Why am I blanking on his name? Fuck.
The LSU head coach.
Before
Ed?
Yeah.
Les Miles.
Yes. Yes. And he was doing some weird stuff up there.
Look, at 6-7, they also finished on a 3-game losing streak, and they're not very good. I think Kansas also belongs in the D tier.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
It's going to be funny to see this side by side with the basketball one.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're obviously S tier in basketball.
Yeah.
K-State.
K-State, I think, is an A tier team. They finished 7-2 in the Big 12 last year. They were 4-1 on the road, 3-1 at home, 10-4 overall.
Yeah, okay. They've been pretty good recently.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't they beat or no? Yeah. I think they're A tier. They're A tier for sure with BYU. Yeah, I can absolutely live with that. Okay, Oklahoma State. This is an interesting one. Arizona State obviously plays Oklahoma State week 2 this season. We know what happened last year. Spencer Sanders in that offense kind of just dominating Donnie Henderson's abysmal defense. But they don't have Spencer Sanders anymore. They don't have their D coordinator anymore, Derek Mason, either. So this is a unique position because Oklahoma State, historically, again, if we were doing this historically, would be a team that you put pretty high up.
Yeah.
But this is a team that was 4-5 in the Big 12 last year, 7-6 overall, and they finished on a 2-game losing streak. What are you thinking?
I'm inclined. Gut reaction is B tier.
Is B tier?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
I definitely think they're better than Baylor and Houston. But I don't know. I just kind of to me they seem around that Cincinnati spot. They don't seem. I struggle to put them on the same level as a team like BYU or Kansas State, but I definitely think they've been better recently than a team like Baylor.
Okay. I do think the loss of Spencer Sanders is going to be
that's very fair.
Really, really tough for them because this is a program that, is built on the idea of stability, especially when it comes to football, and they've had stability at quarterback for such a long time. It's another interesting point because you look at Oklahoma State last season and they started off really hot, right? This is a team that whooped Central Michigan. They beat ASU. Arkansas Pyne, they beat them 63-7. They beat Baylor 36-25. They beat Texas Tech by 10 points. They almost beat TCU. That game was a good one, 43-40 in double overtime. They beat Texas by 7. And then you remember what happened when they beat Texas and then had to play Kansas State? 48-0. They got their ass kicked. So you're saying B tier. I'll live with B tier. I can live with B tier for Oklahoma State. Okay. Let's see. Whoa, we got it totally switched on us. What is this?
This is presentation mode.
Let's go.
Oh yeah,
presentation mode.
Getting real.
Awesome.
Let's switch all these back though.
Okay.
Because all these moved.
We got Tech.
This is oh my goodness. I love seeing this in the context of like the new four that we have at the end that we're used to seeing.
Dude, I hate West Virginia so much. What a poverty program.
Oh, goodness. Okay, this is West Virginia. I mean,
they got blown out by Iowa State last year. They didn't beat anyone worth a damn.
Okay.
They lost all their ranked opponents.
And we know Ray Anderson hates them.
C tier, maybe B tier or D tier.
I am inclined to put them in the D tier.
Yeah. Eat your heart out, Aaron Slendy. Love you, but that's my favorite thing ever to do is talk shit to her about West Virginia.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Texas Tech. See, this is another unique one because
see, this is the problem though, is I am biased. I hate Texas Tech with every fiber of my being.
Okay, you want to go on a little rant?
No, I just hate them.
You know what's funny? Because we're going to have somebody from Texas Tech that hosts a Texas Tech podcast on the show on Thursday, so I'm going to need you to buckle up.
Fuck them. Not the host, but the Red Raiders.
Why do you hate them? Just because you're from Texas?
Because I grew up a Texas fan, and they had that one game, Michael Crabtree. I hate him. I hate them all. I hate Texas Tech, and they also have. I mean, they have also been embarrassingly bad as of the last couple of years, have they not?
I mean, well, you look at what they did last year. Their losses came to then number 16 NC State. They lost by 13. They lost to Kansas State when they were 25 in the country. They lost to Oklahoma State when Oklahoma State was 7 in the country. They lost to Baylor. They got whooped by Baylor, and they lost to TCU. So, like, those are outside of the Baylor loss. All of those are pretty respectable losses.
They apparently it looks like they earned a spot on the preseason coaches poll for the first time since 2008, which I mean both says how bad they've been and that they're kind of okay now. I mean I can live with them being C tier, I guess, but
I was gonna say B tier.
B tier?
I was gonna say B tier, just because look, this wasn't necessary. I'm just when they didn't have a bad season last year, I can't put them in the same ranking as, I guess, I don't know. It's tough because they beat Houston and they lost to Baylor. So maybe they do belong in the C tier.
I'm
going to put them in my vote is C tier strictly because they split between Houston and Baylor, and both those schools are in the C tier for us.
That works for me.
Okay. UCF, what was it, 20-something, 2017, 2018 national champions?
Want to be national champions.
You didn't believe in them, man?
No. I mean, I feel like they're just kind of like Cincinnati to me. It's a team coming from the same conference that's accomplished a lot of the same things, which is to say nothing, but a lot for a team that was in a non-Power 5. They're in a pretty football-rich environment in Florida. More southern Florida than central Florida, like they are. But they've just been a program that I feel like has been really overachieving what they're supposed to be achieving over the last few years, which again is a lot like Cincinnati.
Which is kind of why them and Cincinnati are here.
Yeah,
into the Big 12.
Yeah,
right, is because they've been overachieving at places that maybe people didn't necessarily expect, or you just do it for a long enough period of time and people take notice. You look at their season last year; they lost 4 games. They lost to Duke in the Military Bowl. 30-13. They lost to Tulane. Who else they lose to? They lost to Navy. Nobody loses to Navy except Army. And then East Carolina. They also lost. Oh, in Louisville. They don't have any like standout wins, man. Like,
yeah, I mean they are not.
Actually, I take it back. They beat Cincinnati.
Very good. Yeah, which is why I'm kind of inclined to put them B tier. They've accomplished things recently, but they are not. They're in a very similar space to Cincinnati in my mind.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I can live.
I just have a hard time putting them in a different tier than Cincinnati is really where my mind is.
Okay.
But if you want to put them C tier, I can live with that because.
What do you think, Jacob?
I think Cincinnati. I don't know. Cincinnati's done it more recently than UCF, I suppose. So,
who are their wins?
UCF. Their best wins last year were number 17 Tulane. They won by 7. But then they went on a few weeks later to lose to Tulane 45-28. They beat Cincinnati by 4 points, and Cincinnati was number 20 at that point. Nobody else really stands out as like dominating wins.
Yeah, I could live with them being C tier, but so yeah, I'm thinking.
I would probably say C tier.
C tier. Okay, then I'll go C tier. And you're cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go C tier. Before we finish it, guys, there's 103 of you in here. Hit that like button. Waynick in the chat. Did Balazs just score on Texas Tech again? Yeah. You know what? He scored his 97th touchdown against Texas Tech to beat Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know what to tell
and
you.
Glenn mentioning kind of what I said about UCF. I mean, being in the state of Florida and now having kind of a chokehold on Big 12 football in the state of Florida could end up being pretty big for a school like UCF.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we've got CU now.
There we go.
This is where things get fun. Because for everybody new here, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. I don't really.
I think Tornadoes thinks Shawn is me.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, that's an Iowa State education for you.
Do you play chess in the park alone?
Not alone, not in the park, but I do like playing chess. It's been a while. Tornado, I like you because not a whole lot of people see a black man and be like, that guy plays chess. So if you're gonna be out here, just kind of making generalizations like that, I appreciate it.
All right, this is where things get interesting because these 4 teams obviously coming from the Pac. I'm interested to know for all the Big 12 fans.
See you in the basura tier.
All of the Big 12 fans. What is your perspective on Colorado and Deion Sanders? Because
Colorado's interesting because they obviously were a Big 12 school at one point,
and they're really, they're the ones that
did all this
pretty much. Yeah. Obviously, the LA schools did it last year, but I don't think if Colorado doesn't make the move. I don't think anybody else leaves in this offseason.
No, it is definitely. They definitely were the catalyst. It's hard to know what would happen if it wasn't for them, but they definitely, in this instance, did. I think they're D tier.
D for Deion, baby.
This program is absolutely a joke, and
so bad.
I mean, if we want, the only thing that would keep them being out of D tier is entirely the hype surrounding Deion, which is not to say that wouldn't be a fair reason. Like Deion has obviously kind of reinvigorated that program, so I could live with them being C tier just because of the potential that they have and all of the energy, and they obviously do have a couple of really good players in Shador and Hunter, but
outside of those two, man.
But yeah, you look at everything they've done recently. I mean, they're an absolute joke of a football program.
They are, and look, this is my thing with it, right? And I know in terms of ASU, even U of A on this list, they're pretty unproven in the eyes of the Big 12, right? But what Colorado did last year, they were awful. Obviously, Deion Sanders tries to change it a little bit. But again, my biggest issue with it is Colorado's best player last year, Jordan Tyson, is currently on Arizona State's sideline. So I don't know how much...
I mean, that statement doesn't mean a whole lot to me because he wouldn't be the best player on the team right now. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and put Colorado in the D tier.
Yeah, that's
where I'm going to put them.
That's completely fine by me.
And then this is the closest team you get to S tier outside of TCU.
Yeah, I just think I think the only reason we have TCU is the fact that they reached the national championship, and I think that's the only reason we can't put Utah S tier is because they have not really accomplished anything
in terms of the Big 12.
Yeah, or in terms of the Pac-12, in terms of the in terms of the national, like they didn't win a Pac-12 championship. Or yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. They beat USC.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody, I mean, look, USC, Caleb Williams, everybody knows what they're all about. But for everybody, look, go ahead.
No, it's just tough because I think I would rather be Utah than TCU, but TCU has accomplished more in the fact that they got to a national championship. And so I think you put those two teams together, I'm probably putting Utah. I'm probably taking Utah.
Like head to head?
Yeah. So
this is tough.
It is tough because I think they're a better program than TCU, but TCU has been to a national championship, and I think again.
Yeah, but is that all it takes? Like, is that's the standard to be an S tier in your rankings?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Carter brings it up. Utah has won back-to-back Pac-12 titles, and they've done it in a conference.
No, I agree. I'm fine with them being S tier. I do because I do think they are a better program than TCU. It's just they haven't done anything outside of the pack, but I don't know if that is that fair of a barrier. So and they're definitely better than BYU and Kansas State. So I think they got to be S tier.
Okay, I'm gonna go out with you. I think Utah is S tier, and I mean, it's not even a bold prediction. I think Utah wins the Big 12 in their first season.
Ooh.
But it's gonna be really interesting because this is another program like Oklahoma State is so used to stability in their quarterback, and Cam Rising he's done after this season.
And I think that's a school that definitely benefits from being a Western school and not a Southern school.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of how they adjust to life in the Big 12.
Carter in the chat, sadly, I think TC would smoke Utah from a Ute fan. Look, maybe this past year.
Utah's just consistency.
Tornadoes, man.
I hope he knows that I'm not Jacob, so I don't know if he... is still talking shit to me or not.
He says, Jacob, I bet you hold your nose when you jump in a pool.
Joke's on you.
Dork.
I don't jump in pools because I can't swim, you fucking loser.
Oh, you just gave him ammo, man. You just gave him ammo.
I can swim, just not very well.
All right, here we go. We've got U of A and Arizona State as the final two here. Obviously, we're an Arizona State podcast, so we'll do that at the very end.
I do this.
But Arizona, we got a team in Jed Fish that is, look, they're building something. They are, to my knowledge, they have the best 2024 recruiting class in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
And they, I believe, are the only ones in the Big 12 with a 5-star commit. I know that 5-star commit is from Tucson.
Yeah. But it's still a 5-star player. Yeah.
Where do you want to put him, man? Because this is like Colorado. Historically, they've been pretty bad as of late.
Yeah, that's the really tough. Man, oh man. I feel like putting them D tier would be disrespectful because of the progress that they have made recently and because of getting a 5-star recruit. Like you have to be, you can't, D tier programs don't accomplish things like that. D tier programs are complete jokes, and I do not think, really based on what they've done the last year and a half, you can consider U of A complete and utter joke. Okay. I think if we were having this conversation 2 years ago, they're an easy D tier. They're a complete, absolute embarrassment. But I think what they've accomplished over these last 2 years, the energy that's in that program, and what Jed Fish has managed to do, and they have good players. Like there's Jaden Delora is a talented quarterback. They obviously have T-Mac, guys like that. There's plenty of talent on this team. I just think they're moving in the right direction, so I'm inclined to put them C tier.
Okay, I'm with Arvin and I'm with you in the chat. I'm putting them C tier. D tier is just reserved for really, really, really bad programs. Yeah. So Arizona, we'll go C tier. Guys, before we give you our Arizona State ranking, we've got a merch drop.
Oh boy,
coming out here. Is it later on today, Jacob?
Yep.
Yeah, during the Cardinals show, there's going to be a huge shirt drop.
4:30.
It's a PHNX Cardinals shirt. Guys, stay locked in all day, literally, on our YouTube channel, PHNX Sports. If you've seen the merch as of late, it has been on point. And the nice thing about all of our shirts is they're super affordable and they are super comfy. This is one of our D-bag shirts that we had. This is honestly one of my favorites.
Yeah, he wears a shirt all the time.
It's so
I've got our Josh Jones shirt on. And see, I love this shirt because you buy this and you're like, oh, a college athlete Josh Doan. Jokes on you. He plays for the Coyotes too, so it still works.
Stay locked in 100%. Okay, before we get to ASU, I think Tornadoes had another just hilarious comment. And at this point, I'm just reading his comments every time I see him. He says, I'm calling you the wrong name on purpose, Shawn. It changes the subject when people ask about you. These are so creative, man. This is awesome. I love this guy. Okay. So
good.
we said U of A, C tier.
C tier.
And now we've got Arizona State. This is interesting because, again, you're looking at a program where I think the trajectory is up.
Yeah.
But you look at last year.
They're C tier.
It's tough. I think they're C tier. It's tough because you look at the last few months, and I think things are going in the right direction. But you look at everything before that, and like U of A and ASU in the last couple of years were heading in opposite directions. Like U of A was getting better, ASU was getting worse.
Like you said, Colorado can't be rated off of hype, so you can't rate ASU off of hype either.
Yeah. I definitely. I mean, obviously ASU has accomplished more than U of A lately. It's also unbelievable because we're putting them in a group with UCF, who had an undefeated Division I football season in the last 5-6 years, whatever it was. But still, I just think ASU is they're not good. They haven't accomplished anything.
Do you think ASU beats Oklahoma State this year?
Maybe, yeah, but also Oklahoma State is, I think, a better and a more stable program, and also they didn't beat them earlier this year or less than a year ago when they played them. So
Rick brings it up. Is this a tier list of the overall football program or like in the last year? So it's kind of based off of the last year and then also the trajectory of it. It's a little bit of a compilation here. So this is my argument for Arizona State to be a B tier team, aside from the fact, that I cover this team every single day and have been to the practices. This offense it's got ridiculous weapons. Okay, so the talent is definitely there to be, I think the talent is there to be a mid-level B-tier team, right? Xavier Guillory, Elijhah Badger was just added to the Biletnikoff Award watch list Jalen Conyers on the Mackey Award watch list. There is certainly a lot of talent, but I don't know who is going to be starting at quarterback yet. I tweeted out earlier, I think this is the closest quarterback competition that I've ever covered between Drew Pyne and Trenton Bourguet. So for that reason, not knowing who the quarterback is, and the fact that they lost the Territorial Cup last year to U of A, I have to put them in the C tier. But I don't think this is a C tier program by any means. I think we could be looking back at this at the end of next season, and we could very well be like, yeah, this is definitely a B tier team. Because I think their overall win total is set at 4.5. I think they hit that. I really do think they hit that. And there is so much of me that wants to say that this is a B tier team. But
that's you drinking the Kool-Aid, homie.
Look, until they do it in the games, it is hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
100%. Like you just. There's plenty of talent, but you can say that for a handful of teams. Like U of A is the exact same way in terms of some of their offensive talent.
I was going to say their offensive talent is very, very high down there as well.
I mean, the ASU offensive talent is only going to take them as far as their offensive line takes them, and that's obviously a huge question. And I honestly haven't been doing these rankings so much. I mean, ASU's not playing in the Big 12 next year. Like Kevin said, you can say the exact same thing. Like I was looking at this more of not necessarily what their rosters look like next year, but just kind of where the programs are and where they are going. I agree. I had said this. I don't think we're far removed from a situation in which the Pac-12 has the top 4 teams in the Big 12. Not right now, but not right now, and I don't think it's going to be next year or the first year. But I do think we're going to get to a point where all of the Pac-12 schools are some of the best programs in this conference, or have the potential to be that. But as it stands right now, they're not.
Yeah. In terms of rivalry tiers, I'm thinking that the Cyclones might end up in our S tier for rivals if Tornadoes is just in the chat over here.
New favorite people in this chat by far. Okay, so that's going to conclude the football tier list. We're going to start this over. We're going to do basketball. But before we do that, guys, I want to tell you about our friends over at BetMGM. Shawn, you know how I start my day literally every single day?
I'm guessing it has to do something to do with the BetMGM Sportsbook app.
I hit snooze on my alarm. And then I go straight over to the BetMGM Sportsbook app because they've still got the, what's it called? The MLB free-to-play game.
The Swing for the Fences.
Yeah, the Swing for the Fences where you literally are, it's like you're playing a video game. And you are going to get a promo of some sort, whether that be a bonus bet or some profit boost, whatever. Also, over at BetMGM, they literally just give you money. We were there, on Friday? And they were just handing out $100 free bets. That's what they do, guys.
You can take Ricky. Ricky wants you to put $1,000 on it for suggesting that they could hit 4.5 wins.
Well, look, I might not because I've already used like the BetMGM code that we have to get my risk-free bet. But if you haven't and you're inclined to put $1,000 on anything, again, do it over at BetMGM. Sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses Rick. So maybe you could put $1,000 on it over at BetMGM. Again, that bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Ontario. We got a lot of hostility in the chat at times. I think when it's all said and done,
we're all family here.
We're all family. We can all sit down.
Leave a like, guys. Leave a like. Do what Bobby says.
Yeah. Leave a like. We can all sit down, gather around the campfire, and crack open a Four Peaks and celebrate over the fact that West Virginia is still dog shit. You can do that wherever you are in Arizona because Four Peaks is all over the place. It's the best beer here for all new Big 12 people when you come out here for either a U of A game, SU game. And you're like, what beer should I get? Inclination, probably just go one of those nationwide beers that you know because it's the safe bet. Trust me, if you're going to take anything that I say, try a Four Peaks. They got something for everybody. Try the Wow. It's the most popular guy here, or the most popular beer here.
Little peach ale, maybe a hazy.
Hazy, yeah. Kilt Lifter is the best-selling beer in Arizona. We got a bunch of them, Four Peaks, so check them out. And make sure you check them out on social. You can follow them at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. But you must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly.
God, that was awesome. Shawn, you want to clap like Tornado says you do when you get off planes?
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't. Have you ever been on a plane where people clap?
Yeah, I have, and it is the funniest thing in the world because you know as soon as that person gets off that plane that they go live their life as a loser the rest of the time. Like that is the best part.
The only time, hey Glenn. First off, I tweeted out yesterday. I hate West Virginia. I've always hated West Virginia. They were a Big East team, and then they were a Big 12 team, so I hate them a lot. And then, so I'm all about them making a rival. Why would you want to go to Morgantown, West Virginia, if you live in Phoenix? Come on.
I mean, look, there's some people that just want to go check out different places.
No, that's cool. But if you're Ray Anderson, why? Who cares? I don't need it.
I mean, look, he should probably go do it because.
Yeah. For what? They already voted him in.
Fine, Shawn.
Whose opinion is he got?
Fine. Oh, okay.
H-fucking-K.
Let's do basketball now here because I think this is really what this conference is going to be known for is the basketball conference. And
can we just get out of the way and put Kansas S tier?
Yeah, do you want to go tier by tier? Or you want to just continue to go? Let's just continue to go from where we're at.
Fair.
So let's go ahead. Where do you think Baylor is at? Because this is a team that was 23-11 last year, and they're not too far removed from being a top tier program in the nation. We know how difficult the Big 12 is just as a conference. But what do you think about Baylor?
My gut reaction was A tier. This is a program that's got some guys to the NBA, a program that has been pretty successful this year. I mean, they've been in the tournament 3 straight years, 4 of the last 5. I mean, that to me is if you're a college basketball program, your goal is to be making the tournament. You're doing that damn near every year. You
deserve some love. And you look at their wins last year.
Only a couple of years away from a national championship.
Yeah, look at their wins, dog. Their wins last year, they beat Kansas. Okay, they beat UCLA, and they beat Gonzaga.
Yeah,
those. I mean, I would put those 3 wins up with just about anybody else.
I would agree. I think for me, the basketball thing is going to be a little different. S tier is going to be reserved for just pure blue bloods. Being an S tier college basketball program, I think means something different than it does being an S tier football program.
And again, in the Big 12, it's a little bit of a gauntlet that you're going to have to go through.
Yeah. So to accomplish what Baylor's accomplished, I think that makes them an A tier program for sure.
I will absolutely agree with that. Baylor as an A tier program. BYU. Now, I'm going to be a little ignorant here because I don't really know what the hell.
I was going to say, has BYU basketball been relevant since Jimmer Fredette? Like, respectfully, I don't know
what they're about,
like anything about BYU basketball.
Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about BYU basketball. Just looking at their schedule from last year, they lost to San Diego State, who we know had a ridiculous run. But you look at their schedule, they didn't really beat anybody. They had a 3-point win over Creighton. Yeah, and that was a team that kind of surprised.
Only 1 point loss to Gonzaga,
and then another 7-point loss to Gonzaga too.
1 point loss to St. Mary's.
But you got to look. I feel like part of this is you look at the wins, you look at the losses, and this is a team that doesn't really have any wins that necessarily stand out to me.
Yeah, they were staying close with. Yeah, I mean, it's a program that I know damn near nothing about, which I think is a little indicative of who they are as a program.
They did beat San Francisco by 26 points, which ASU couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you go back 2 years ago, they have they have wins over Utah and a number 12 Oregon. Whoa.
What?
2021 season, they beat then 12 ranked Oregon 81-49.
Oh God.
Jesus. Lost to number 2 Gonzaga, 2 losses to Gonzaga. Yeah.
I'm with Carter in the chat. I think this is probably a C tier program.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. They're not like an abjectly miserable program, but they really are not doing a whole lot. No. So I think that's fair.
And I think it again, similar to the way it is going to be tough for a team to be S tier. It is like, oh my gosh, that
fucking tornado spot on. I do wipe standing up.
Oh my god,
BYU just waits for the great white wipe. Dude, Jimmer Fredette. I thought Jimmer Fredette was going to win them a national championship. That dude was cold. He was cold.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do you know about Cincinnati?
Oh boy.
Good job picking up on that logo too, because it's literally just not there.
I mean, I feel the absence. That's another one I don't know a whole lot about, to be quite honest with you. I
Oh gosh.
What?
What do we know about Cincinnati basketball? Anything?
Oh no, I don't have any internet, so I can't look stuff up anymore.
Okay, then let's go with some of the programs that we do know. Houston.
That kind of feels like an A-tier program too. I mean, it's a program that's definitely been a benefactor of not having as much competition, not being in a Power 5. But I mean, this is one that's been in the mix of tournaments the last few years as one of the higher seeds. A or B. Yeah, I'd be willing to listen to them being B. It's just they've been playing at such a high level over the last few years. Like it seems like they're a perennial top 5 seed in the tournament. So
okay.
That's kind of where my mindset is at.
Yeah.
But
let's go ahead and put them in A tier then. I think that's probably where they belong. Okay. What about, there's a couple different options here. Because let's go Kansas.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's get them out of the way. They're an S tier.
Okay.
An S tier.
Now, why do you think, you mentioned the difference in S tier for basketball and S tier for football. Why is it different in basketball, specifically in the Big 12?
I mean, I think not every conference necessarily has blue bloods in football. The way, like you look at, we were obviously doing this in the context of the Big 12. There is not a Kansas basketball in terms of Big 12 football without Texas and Oklahoma. There is not one of those programs that you hear it, you're like you ask basketball schools and Kansas gets brought up every time.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not the case for any of the schools as far as football is concerned in the Big 12. I think that is the case with Kansas, and I think there's a handful of schools like that within college basketball. So I just feel like when you're talking about college basketball, you look at S tiers in a conference like this, it is probably only 2 schools, if I'm being honest.
Okay, then I am totally comfortable with Kansas at S.
Also, jokes on you, Tornadoes. Shawn does not like chocolate.
Yeah, he doesn't like chocolate, but I feel like that's going to come back to also.
And I also eat white chocolate Kit Kats. But part of the fun at Kit Kats is snapping them in the crack when you bite them.
Yeah, it's the whole point of a Kit Kat.
Otherwise,
that's the point.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Cincinnati now. Cincinnati, just taking a look at what they did last year. This is, again, a program that's similar to BYU, where you look at what they did and there's not a whole lot that jumps out to you. I mean, they lost to Houston 3 different times.
Yeah, they lost to Arizona by 8.
Yeah, and those games against Houston, like, they're not blowout losses, really. But again, part of it, you can lose to good teams, but you have to also take some wins somewhere. And I don't see anything.
American was good. American had some good teams in it, man.
But I just don't see anything that really jumps out to me.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through their schedule and the teams they played. Yeah,
I'm inclined to put them
C tier as well. I don't know. Are we going to have any
D tier teams?
We might have some D tier teams.
Yeah, I think UCF might be a D tier team.
Might be D tier.
Whoa. I'm going to fight you over here. You hop over to the D-backs podcast and you immediately turn on Bobby fucking Hurley. What are we doing, man? Okay, what about Iowa State? What do you know about Iowa State basketball?
HK, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. They're average. Okay? Yeah. They were 9-9 in the Big 12 last year, 19-14. Overall, they were really good at home. They were 13-3 on the year at home, and then they were really, really, really bad on the road. They were 3-8 on the road, 3-3 neutral sites. I feel like for the purpose of this whole thing, I feel like Iowa State and Cyclones or Tornadoes, you can hop in here and let us know what you think. But I feel like it might have to be a C tier team as well.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
You can live with Iowa State. You're not going to toss and turn in the middle of the night?
No.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and put Iowa State in the C tier. I think that fits them. Kansas State. This is, oh man, dude, Kansas State was so fun last year.
Yeah.
I was rooting for them so bad.
That shit was. I think they're a B tier team.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the sustained success as of late for me to really want to put them up there, but I mean, they made a run in the tournament.
That's God, they were so good at home
to
last
make
year.
You anything less than B tier would be disrespectful.
They were 15-1 at home last year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is a tough conference, man. When it comes to basketball, all right, let's go ahead and put
conference, man.
Let's put Kansas State in the B tier section. Kind of awesome what Kansas State athletics has done over the last handful of seasons.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can. I don't think people were necessarily expecting that for a certain amount of time. So we still got a handful of schools to do in terms of the basketball tier rankings, and we're going to do that. But first, I want to tell you about our friends over at Circle K. Guys, they got locations all over the valley. And Shawn, I'm going to be vulnerable with you. Okay, I've been to Circle K more times today than I've been to the bathroom. Literally. Yeah. Circle K, they have everything you need. Not just great prices on gas, but I stop there every day for an energy drink.
I got my gas there this morning.
Every day for a Gatorade. Like, they've got it all over at Circle K. Drinks, snacks, gas, and great deals too. Buy Powerade at $4 for $5 and be entered. And you could be one of 10 finalists entered to win a 2023 Ford Big Bend Bronco SUV. Guys, make sure you're not missing out on all the great stuff. And right now, text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club. It's that easy, guys, and you're going to get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Again, text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Guys, go do it. Circle K. It's the one-stop shop for everything you need.
It's perfect because you get yourself a big Polar Pop, and nothing goes better with a big Polar Pop than a nice big breakfast burrito. Yeah. Or a lunchtime burrito, whatever you got. I saw some of the ASU football players out at Burrito Express after practice, or our boy Jalen. It's simply the best.
I got 3 burritos from Burrito Express last week.
Damn.
Yeah. I was there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Damn. Yeah. Why don't you spread it out a little bit? Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah, once you have, like, it's hot out there, dude. Yeah. So you have one, or like, you're hungry, go out, you have one, and then you're like, oh, damn, this really hit. This really hit. Check it out, guys.
They do. They got so many good flavors. Yeah, you got to check them out. Make sure you follow them on Twitter at BurritoXP to see the latest happening with them, all the things they do with ASU athletes, and all the fun happenings in the life of Angel.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Angel is amazing.
Honestly, even if you never eat a burrito, which you should, just following them on Twitter it's a fun follow.
It's the best burrito in the Big 12, and it's not even
fucking close.
All right, let's get back to these tier rankings because we do have some more fun teams to get to, guys. Let's start with Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State's a weird one because they are widely irrelevant, and then all of a sudden Cade Cunningham shows up, and they're really relevant for a year, and then they were irrelevant again.
Even last year, though, right? Like 20-16 was their record. That's not a bad record by any means.
There's just not really any bad teams in this conference, man.
Not when it comes to basketball, dude.
No, it's like this is the conference of champions as far as basketball is concerned. Like it is really good.
So to put it in context, this is a team that was 20-16 last year, right? In like overall, 20-16 with that same record and avoiding conference play, they would have been in between Arizona State and Washington State in the Pac-12.
They finished 4th from last in the Big 12,
and they would have been 6th in the Pac. I don't think they're a B tier team.
Yeah,
though.
I'm inclined to put them C tier too. They really haven't accomplished anything. Like, and again, in a conference like this, you need to accomplish some things, and having Cade Cunningham there for a year is not enough for me to consider you relevant.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'm with you. C tier. LFG in the chat. Why isn't the third host on air lately? Shane's on vacation. He's gonna be back. He's enjoying his time. So Shane is gonna be right back around the corner here pretty soon, starting this week. Okay, TCU basketball. TCU basketball leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Do you know why, Shawn?
Of course I know why. We gotta talk about all that. Especially because I lost U of A the year before, and then they come and beat. Anyways,
but they were another average program, 9-9 in the Big 12, 22-13 overall. But again, you got to take that record, the overall record, with a grain of salt because the Big 12 is a gauntlet.
Yeah, I'm
on three. On three, we say where we put them. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
B.
Yeah.
I don't feel good about it because I do feel like they're at a different level. Like I feel like Kansas State deserves more respect than TCU, but TCU is one game in the tournament. Like they deserve more. They deserve TCU's like B.5 to me. They're like B.5. They're right in the middle there.
Okay. I'm absolutely for that then. Texas Tech. That's another interesting one because this is a program that every few years I feel like just comes out of left field and dominates, but last year was not one of those years.
Yeah, I feel like Tech is they're a C tier if they didn't go to the national championship that one year, I think. And I think the fact that they reached the national championship, that's another thing that makes college basketball so difficult. Yeah, I feel like, well, recency, they were fucking 5-13 in conference last year. Recency, they sucked, but also recency, they've been to a national championship in the last few years. I feel like those things got to cancel out and got to put them B tier, but I don't feel great about that either.
I feel real bad putting them in the same tier as Kansas State.
As do I. But I feel like, again, they were in the national championship a couple of years ago. Like, putting them at the same level as those other schools doesn't seem fair either.
What do you think, Jacob? And what do you think, chat, too?
I think gut feeling tells me that you're right with B tier.
B tier
Big 12 people telling us A tier.
for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cole and Rick saying A tier. They were not good last year, man. Like, and they haven't really been good all that
they haven't been good
much.
They weren't good last year, and I don't know what the trajectory of them is this year. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Texas Tech in the. This is tough, man. This might be the toughest one.
It is because you don't have schools that have kind of gone that they went from the top to the bottom so fast.
Should we give them the benefit of the doubt? B tier.
Yeah, I mean let's give them benefit of the doubt. We got
Okay.
people in the chat telling us B tier. They win the national championship. Give them benefit of the doubt, put them B tier.
I can absolutely live with that. All right, UCF. This is where I think we get the first D tier team. UCF basketball.
Yeah,
not
HK.
very good.
Dude, he's fucking
Just looking
K.
at what they did against some of the teams that we have in the C tier, it wasn't a strong season for the Knights. And I'm be honest, I don't ever remember a time of UCF basketball being worth a damn. So I'm gonna have to say UCF basketball is D tier.
Yeah, I can live with that. For sure.
All right, you shit on West Virginia football. Are you going to do the same for basketball?
No, I mean, West Virginia's in a weird spot because of what's going on in this offseason.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, like that has been a pretty solid picture of consistency in the Big 12, I feel like. Not
Creasa, baby.
Yeah, right. Not too good, not too bad. They were just always kind of there. They're also, man, they were...
I kind of want to put them C tier. They're not D.
They're definitely not D. Yeah, I feel like C tier's got it. That one doesn't. Yeah, I feel like C tier
for bad teams.
Yeah, they're definitely not D. It almost feels weird because of how they've been relevant for so long with Huggins and all that. But you add that the fact that they lost that, and I feel like C tier just with
Yeah, LFG in the chat losing Huggins hurts West Virginia hoops for
big
sure.
time.
Glenn says West Virginia is B.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've been around and they've been playing good basketball for years, but they just lost the architect of that program. They lost the face of that program.
I'm gonna say West Virginia is D, but I will live with a C.
I doubt they're definitely not D. They've been too good for too long, and I think they have too much credit in that regard. I'll put them C. I can't.
And I know they had the architect of the program, but let's be real, the program wasn't that great last year.
No. Yeah, that's a very fair point, and I think he was starting to lose a grip on it a little bit. But they still have been around for a while playing good basketball. But yeah, I think C tier is probably fair.
Okay, back to the pack we go here. Utah football we know is pretty ridiculous. Utah basketball is average in terms of the Pac-12, which makes me think that they're going to be below average now that they are headed to the Big 12. It's a team that was 10-10 in conference play last year. And guess what? They had games against Cal, Oregon State, Stanford. Like, those are gimme wins. And then overall, this was a team that finished just above 500 at 17-15. But they finished the season losing 6 in a row. So, not great. I'm inclined to say that Utah is a D-tier program.
I'm inclined to too. I just feel like even when they were good at points last year, that was them overachieving. Like that last year was like kind of their peak. They're not really a program worth much of a damn.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go Utah D tier. Colorado. This is the way that we are going to talk about Colorado is very different than the way that Shane would talk about Colorado, because Colorado, if I'm not mistaken, got themselves a ridiculous recruit, if not one of the best players in the nation.
I think. Yeah.
But you look again at what they did last year. They finished worse than Utah last year in terms of conference record. They were 8-12. They were 18-17 overall. They were 4-6 in their last 10. And for what it's worth, like, we've watched this Colorado team. We know how difficult it is to go play in Colorado.
Same thing applies to Utah, though.
Again, though, you're combining the trajectory and what they've done recently.
Yeah, the trajectory makes me want to put them C because of the recruits that they've gotten. Yeah. And I mean, I know, college basketball is kind of one of those things where you get a couple of good players that can really turn things around. But I mean, again,
this is a tough one, man.
This is tough. Oh, man.
Tornado's back at it. Sean, I bet you don't use your turn signal.
How come
you bum at the end?
How come you never get shit on?
It seems like West Virginia was the one that set the chat off the most, though. Seems like a majority of the chat felt like West Virginia was a B.
That's
B tier.
West Virginia is tough. I think that is definitely, like, no disrespect, but that's definitely a product of you being out here on the West Coast. Because I feel back in the East, West Virginia is always, they were a Big East team, so they were always a part of all of those schools, and then they were the Big 12 and Huggins and that.
That Javon Carter team, they were some dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're very, very tough to beat.
Okay.
Getting back to Colorado,
I think they're C.
I think they're C too, probably because they're similar to Utah, but they have hope and a trajectory that Utah simply does not have.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I'll go ahead and I'll put them at C tier then.
Yeah.
Now this is another interesting one because you're gonna get flack.
I don't think this is a question. I think they're a clear A tier.
Okay, there would be an argument though for. No, there's no argument whatsoever.
No, there's an argument that people from down south will make that they're an S tier team, but they're not. You can't sit here and claim that you are on the same level as these Blue Bloods. You don't win shit. You don't win shit. You lost to Princeton.
Yeah, I was just about to say you lost to Princeton.
You got as far in the tournament as ASU. You didn't do anything.
Actually, technically, we're going from a length perspective.
Well, if we won more games in March than they did. Well, that's actually technically not true if you're just considering.
Oh, yeah, they're a clear A team. I think they are the next best team to being an S tier. And again, this is from our perspective.
They're close.
I know Jordan in the chat. Jordan in the chat's is a U of A guy. So
yeah, and I get why they want to say they're an A tier, but yeah, you can't. You have to accomplish something. Like I said, for me, that's the Blue Bloods, and U of A is not at that level yet. They don't have that level of. I know this is not going to be responded to well because I know how UFA. They do not have the same level of like national recognition as a school like Kansas.
Yeah,
motherfuckers just don't care about U of A out here or out there. And again, that's just a kind of a West Coast thing. But they haven't won anything. They haven't won anything. I don't know to say that you're the same as Kansas when they have national championships in the last couple of decades that you don't. I don't know. They have more pros. They have, I don't know what the question is. I don't think there's a question that they are not in the same tier. Now, if you want to say that they're S tier and a school like Kansas is like SS tier,
I think
because they are like a blue blood and it's different, but they're just not on the same level as Kansas.
Yeah, we got a couple of different U of A fans in the chat taking it a bunch of different ways. A couple think we're dumbasses, which I take my cap
I love
off
Rick
to you,
being
sir.
like, as an Arizona fan, we're A tier. Like as if I'm not biased or anything, but I'm an Arizona fan.
I will say, I think in the context of the way we are doing this as it relates to the actual conference, where Kansas is in this conference, Houston, Baylor in this conference, I think Arizona is an A tier team. I think they have an argument for an S tier. I wouldn't be the one making that argument.
They will be heavily in the contest for the Big 12 championship every single year, especially with Texas being gone. But
in the context of the Pac-12, I think Arizona and UCLA were S tier teams.
Yes, they were on a different level, and it wasn't even close.
But now, again, you've got Kansas, and Kansas is the top dog in the Big 12, and I think I think there's only room for one S tier team in this conference, and until U of A does something to change my mind in terms of that.
I mean, look at that. I would agree in general.
They literally lost to Houston.
They literally lost to
Arizona State. Baylor being on the same level as U of A feels a little weird because I do think at U of A is on a different level. But I mean, Houston's accomplished more than U of A. I would argue
as of late.
Yeah, they've gotten further in tournaments. They
literally beat them.
Yeah, like they've. I mean, again, if you want to
slow that down,
if you want to consider the fact that they've been. The Pac-12 is a better conference, and they've been winning those conferences than the ASU or U of A has accomplished more in that sense. But in terms of what matters in March, they haven't accomplished anything.
Yeah, Reza, I can't remember the last time they were better than Baylor and Houston. Yeah, I'm totally comfortable with Arizona in the B tier or in the A tier.
I just want to sometimes the thing I hate about this format is like we get people in the comment and like I just want a real explanation as to why you would argue that it is as good as Kansas.
It's the second time Tornado's talking about your butt. This time it's Shawn, I bet you hoarded toilet paper.
That's an economically smart decision. Why would you not?
Can you hoard toilet paper and wipe standing up at the same time?
What? Why are those things mutually exclusive?
Well, I don't know if you use more when you stand up.
That's probably why you hoard toilet paper. Because you
use more?
I don't
You're the one. That's all you. That's all you.
Before
like I'm in the bathroom holding
this last ranking,
okay, before
I'd like to just say, look at the record of the last two games. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Look, for all the folks that haven't gotten the chance to watch an Arizona State Arizona basketball game, this is how it usually goes. It usually goes competitive in the first half, and then Arizona
I was talking
State,
about Kansas, but go on.
Then Arizona. Oh, you're talking Kansas, and okay, that's fair. You're right. Arizona State's S tier. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
Arizona State's
they
S
own
tier.
Kansas.
This is.
Remy Martin's the best player in Big 12 history.
I think Arizona State is a C tier program in the context of the Big 12.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that I have to say it. But
thank God UCF and Utah came, man. That's the only thing preventing us from being D tier in the context of the conference. Like I'm sorry, and it's easy for me to say because I'm not on the show every day. I don't understand why, if you're an ASU basketball fan exclusively, you would be excited about this for any reason other than the fact that you get to play different teams. This is not going to be fun for ASU basketball.
Well, no, I think it's the same context as it is for football, right? I think Arizona is an attractive location, and I think there are a lot of people that want to play top tier teams in any of these sports. And
but it's different. It's different for college basketball though, because you're just trying to get to the pros.
If you have the opportunity to go play college basketball, and your options are Arizona State, Texas Tech, and Kansas State, I would argue that Arizona State, in playing under Bobby Hurley, is the most attractive option out of those three.
I would disagree. I mean, if it's the most attractive place to play, I'd rather play in Phoenix or Tempe than Manhattan, Kansas. But ASU has not accomplished anything recently. I would argue that those other programs. Well, yeah, but you compare them to those other programs, and they haven't accomplished anything.
That's why I'm saying they're a C tier. I don't think they're a D tier program. I think there is reason to be excited.
No, yeah, I agree. I just think this is not going to be fun for ASU's basketball, and I don't think there's a whole lot of hope. I mean, also, there's 16 fucking teams in this conference.
There's a lot. Yeah,
there's a lot of teams.
It's the basketball conference, and I think you got Bobby Hurley on your side. I think we've seen Bobby Hurley have some really amazing moments. He's at his downsides too, but you look, like, this is a coach in Bobby Hurley that's beaten Kansas. He's beaten Arizona on Arizona's home court. He's got some phenomenal wins over UCLA. Look what they did last year in the what's it called? The first 4 game in the NCAA tournament. Like, there is a lot of room for hope and excitement, and I think what excites ASU fans about this potential is we know what Bobby Hurley's teams have done against higher competition. Yeah, it's never been like Bobby Hurley and Arizona State. The doubts have never come when they play great teams. It is they play so up and down to their competition that the worry is that they always play up and down to their competition. Now you're in a conference where just about everybody makes the tournament. Yeah. Like, there's reason to believe that if that's truly what Bobby Hurley is capable of, then this will be his time to put up a real setup.
Yeah, it's tough to know, obviously, what it's going to all look like. I get concerned about what this could be like, Race, because I mean, you mentioned as being the Big 12, this being a basketball conference. Some of the shit that ASU's pulled over the last few years is not going to fly. Having DFA is not going to fly forever in this conference.
No, absolutely.
The resources are different in this conference when it comes to basketball. So I don't know, man. That concerns me. Just the lack of commitment to the basketball program concerns me as far as their ability to be successful in this conference, but. They're certainly not D tier. I was kind of joking when I said that earlier. But I have said on a number of occasions that I think ASU could be kind of like the Cal of this conference, and I still feel that way.
That's disgusting.
They're going to be a bottom 3-4 team in this conference year in, year out for the foreseeable future in my mind.
Okay, man. Shawn leaves his podcast and he immediately
I'm just being real.
Okay, we'll see. Tornadoes in the chat with a couple comments. Anthony reminds me of Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. I instantly like him. See, that's why.
Who?
Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
I do?
No, me.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was like, huh?
No, his latest comment to you, or actually, he doesn't have one.
No, wait,
it says, "Hey, Shawn, you're like the guy that has 10 water bottles next to his bed. You bum."
It's the you bum with the exclamation
I will
point.
say, I gotta go in and out. Like if I run out of my Brita filter and I don't feel like buying new filters and I just get water bottles, them hosts stack up. They do. My room will get filled with water bottles. I can't even lie. I'm not good like that.
That's absolutely fair. All right, those are our basketball tier rankings. I think we did a pretty good job on some of those rankings.
But I would agree.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I feel like we weren't too biased.
No,
though in really any of these guys. 79 of you still watching. Hit that like button. I'm going to tell you about our friends over at Illegal Pete's. If you're in Arizona, it's hot as hell outside, guys.
True.
So guess what? Stop at Illegal Pete's, their Tucson or their Tempe location. Get yourself a marg, maybe a couple tacos. Taco Tuesday is tomorrow. The food is affordable, it's fresh, and it is so damn good. It really hits a spot in this sunny summer here in Arizona, guys. Illegal Pete's is your go-to spot this summer. Stop by for happy hour 3 p.m. through 8 p.m. every day at all 12 locations. Illegal Pete's the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Guys, for 28 years.
28 years, damn. That's 3 more than I've been alive.
That's how much time
they've been doing it for a while.
That's how much time goes by when you take an OGs.
True. I was going to say, Illegal Pete's is good. It tastes even better when you're off the OGs.
Yeah.
And OGs taste pretty damn good by themselves. They've got flavors for everybody. They got styles for everybody. You know, they got their mixed bags of all their fruit flavors. They got mixed bags of all their cream flavors. They've got Happy Balance. They've got Sleepy Time. They've got Microdose. They've got it all. They've got their pink lemonade special, a limited edition summer flavor. They got it all, like I said. Listen, they taste so good.
Yeah, he's not capping. They taste bomb.
They taste amazing. They don't taste like weed, which I know some people get worried about when they have edibles. They taste like candy. Fair. They're amazing. So check them out. You can add online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram at ogsbrands. You can also find the products at your local dispensary, but as always, you must be 21 years or older to purchase.
Absolutely, guys. Before we get out of here, like I said, Arizona State had practice number 7 today of fall camp. So want to let you in on what we saw today. Obviously, the only thing everybody cares about is that quarterback competition. Drew Pyne, Trenton, Bourguet. This is seriously the closest quarterback competition that I've ever covered. Yeah. Talked to a couple different players, and let's be real, they don't know where it's going to go.
Much different than last year because, no disrespect, but a full disrespect. We saw after just a couple looks at Paul Tyson that this was not going to be his
much of a quarterback competition at all. But yeah, I'm going to be honest. I really don't know who is going to take the spot. Both of these quarterbacks have had their days. I think Camp T this week is certainly going to be interesting. Stay locked in on social because it sounds like we're going to have some pretty fun stuff from Camp T that there's people in the office that don't even know what we're going to be doing over at Camp T. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Jaden Rashada, dude, his arm is the real deal. I'm going to be honest. He's got the best arm by a mile at ASU's fall camp. Just watching him. And look, I say this in the context of just trying to say how big his arm is. There are times, dude, where he is like flicking it and that goes 50 yards. Like not even.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things you can't teach and some guys just have that arm talent and that is very exciting because I mentioned it when we were doing the tiers. I don't think we're far away from a world in which these 4 Pac-12 schools are the 4 best in the Big 12 in terms of football. And Jaden Rashada is going to be a Big 12 quarterback.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, God, that sounds fun to say. Right. Glenn in the chat. O-line looks shaky today. Yeah, Kenny said it after practice. He's really liked what the offensive line has done. I thought it's been one of the most improved groups from the spring through fall camp, but he did say today was absolutely the worst day that he's seen from the offensive line. That's for a couple different reasons, but the offensive line certainly needs to improve going forward because we know what some of these defenses are going to be like in the Pac-12 this season. The offensive line and then also the defensive line is still an interesting point for me. Last note I will say about fall camp, Juju Mitchell, transfer linebacker from Texas and Tennessee, was dismissed from the program for just a couple different reasons. And I mean, Kenny has made it a point that it is all about culture. That is what he's trying to do here. And I think you establish a culture and things like this don't necessarily happen down the line. But this is, again, year 1 of Kenny Dillingham. So we'll see what is to come. Guys, we appreciate all of you hopping on the show today. Up over 100 yet again. We do this literally every single day, guys. So stay locked in, 2 p.m. every single day. I know it's an Arizona State podcast, but we're going to be talking about the Big 12 just about every single day.
Y'all will all hate U of A too. Trust. Y'all are going to get real tired of them.
You'll hate their fans.
Yes.
You'll hate their fans.
You get real tired of them.
But we love it when you're in our chat.
Yeah, we like you guys. We're not talking about it's the other U of A fans.
Guys, go ahead, give us a follow over at PHNX Sun Devils all over social media. You can follow me at Anthony _Tochi. You can follow the man to my right at Shawn _DePause.
Beefing with tornadoes as always, you bum.
We will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. But for now, peace.